LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn. And we work with the LA County on wandering issues. We worked with them to develop a bracelet program, a tracking bracelet, based on one case with one family where a fellow's wife had gotten lost and was not found. So we have a great talk next Tuesday evening with our policy advocacy group with Supervisor Hahn about wandering, about home safety, and this bracelet program. So I'll send you that information, but we do a lot. We have about 40 staff all working remotely like right now, and all our services are available remotely. We have a helpline. I'll share that with you, as well as our website, a lot of wealth of information and resources about caregiving and connections to other people through our helpline, through our, as Adrian mentioned, we have a care counseling team. I'm in the outreach and education department. So we do outreach to provide talks, provide caregiver education, and then connect people to our other services at our office. And again, everything is free. I kind of like to put that in neon, like free, it's all free. It's like there's no restrictions, there's no requirements. It's really, we you may have all got the survey that we sent out earlier, and that's because a lot of our services are free because we receive grant funding to do our services. So in order to be able to do, we continue to receive this money, we need to track who we're talking to. They're giving us money, so they want to know what are we using the money for. So if you have a chance, please fill that out. We'll send you a post survey as well. But we have a lot of resources, a lot of activities at our office, all offered remotely, and I'll share that with you. Before we get started, it's not that big of a group. I'd like to just go around quickly. If everybody can just introduce themselves briefly, just a little bit about what you're interested today and what you'd like to learn. Maybe I'll start with Brian. Would you like to go first?
Sure, yeah. I'm here because my mom is having some memory issues, and I'm trying to navigate where to go from there. I'm sort of at the beginning stages and feeling overwhelmed and just not knowing what to do. I want to start somewhere, so I feel like I really appreciate this opportunity to learn something, hopefully.
Great. Yes, well, definitely, this will be a great place to start.
Yeah.
Welcome. Let's see, Christina, would you like to introduce yourself if you hit the microphone to unmute?
Okay, I'm just interested in just finding out, since our generation is getting older and older, and then what to expect, and then also that I'm hearing there are different kind of things, and then would like to hear from the expert.
Okay, sounds good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see, Anna Luz, is it Anna Luz?
Hi, yeah, you can just call me Annie. That's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Like Brian, I'm also here because of my mom. She's, experiencing some memory loss. So I'm here for support and any suggestions that you guys have to offer.
Great. Perfect. The right place. Welcome.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Let's see. How about Melanie? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, both my parents are in their early 80s. So far they're fine, but my stepmom, she's in a different state, but I've noticed that her speech is slowing down and she gets repetitive. So I'm concerned, maybe she's in the early stages of dementia. So I'd like to know more about it, the stages, and how to go about listening to her or helping her.
Okay, yes, we'll definitely go over some of that. And James Plaza, are you ready to say hi?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon. My name is James, and I am looking for more information about this disease and how I could cope with my mother. Being patient at first, I was reading so much stuff, and I was kind of getting upset because she was being repetitive, and I then realized I need to first receive assistance in order to assist my mother. Also, I did fill out an advanced health directive for my mother. She acknowledged that, but I'm not sure there's any other legal paperwork that needs to be out there so that I'm straight with her medical stuff. And also about medication, I know there's no medication out there, but a neurologist that's seen my mother prescribed 2 medications, one for day, one for night. But I'm not sure if that's the best thing, or is it more of a just here's a comfort medication and a trial medication. And I'm not sure if I should take her to USC, a neurologist. So I just want to see what type of medications are out there. They're saying without the medication, she'll deteriorate much quicker than taking something that may prolong it. So just I want to make sure I'm in the right path.
Okay. Well, even if some of these things we may not cover in this presentation, but I have other classes that are coming up that talk about research and medication, so we can, but this is a good place to start. So welcome.
Great, thank you.
And let's see next, JD Kagan, are you ready to say hi?
Hi, Jean.
Hello, Adria. I'm here because I heard Adria speak. I invited her to speak at an organization to which I belong, and I was interested by what she does. I'm also involved in a pilot program with the Glendale Police Department where we do outreach to seniors who are isolated. Most of the people I deal with are in their late 70s or their 80s. So I think the more I know about this topic, the more I can be helpful to them.
Yes, definitely. That's
and
great.
I am in my middle 70s.
So. Oh, well, welcome. You know, we welcome everyone because the more we can become dementia capable, all of us, the better we're able to support everyone in the community. So definitely good knowledge for everyone. And Denise and Fred, do you want to say hi? You go ahead and unmute.
Hi, I'm Denise. This is Fred. I'm here because I just wanted to learn more about the disease. My mother has dementia and just wanted to get more information.
Same here.
Great, well, welcome. And Lynn Robinson, would you like to say hi?
Hi, I'm just here to find out more, and because my mom is 87 and starting to have some memory problems.
Great, wonderful. Let's see, I think we have everyone. I know Ria is one of our volunteers, so and then Angie Moran is also a staff member from Alzheimer's LA. So I think we have everybody. Great, so I will go ahead and begin the presentation. Let's see, I see a chat. Okay, I think someone sent a chat. Adria? Okay, I think we're ready. I'm gonna go ahead and start the presentation. Great. Okay. So I'm going to use that. Oh, let me go back. Okay, so as we mentioned, here's our logo, Alzheimer's Los Angeles. And just to differentiate, we do work with the Alzheimer's Association, which is a different separate nonprofit organization. There's more nationally based, but we do work together and providing services for the community. And this topic for today is behaviors in Alzheimer's disease using IDEA. We're going to use a 3-step method used to help caregivers kind of break down how to respond to difficult behaviors. And so we call it the IDEA method. We did go through and do the welcome already. I like to do it when we can see everybody. And then of course we want to acknowledge we are in different circumstances right now. We're all virtual because of COVID-19, but we are available. All of our staff are available. We have our helpline you can call. the numbers here. And also, I just want to let you know, I will provide you a copy of these slides at the end of the presentation. I'll email it to you so you don't have to write it all down or take pictures of it or anything. I'll give you a copy. And so you'll get our helpline number. Again, you can call with any question, big or small. You can email us with a question. You can go to our website, lots of resources there. And we provide free help, care counseling. We have support groups, which are really great for those who are caring for someone. Peer support is great because peers also know a lot of resources and can talk about things that they're doing that are helpful. And then talks and workshops that we have. We do have one that's a little longer, a Savvy Caregiver workshop, which might be helpful for some folks. And I'll send you that list of classes and a link as well. So then just to let you know, since it is a small group, whenever you have a question, I think it's fine if you want to just unmute and pipe up. I'll stop at different times to check if you have a question, but feel free. But one thing the creators of this program wanted to do is start off with a little breathing exercise. And I think it's really great because it's funny. Every time I do this, I always ask, who's taking a deep breath today? And I always say, I have not even taken a deep breath today. I get up, you're going, you're making food, you're going around, you're taking care of all this stuff, you're answering emails. And you know, what we do all day is this shallow breathing. And there's a lot of studies now that really are looking at the benefits, the health benefits, the mental benefits of taking a deep breath. And what is a deep breath? A deep breath, some people say a count of 5. I say it's more a count of 10, of counting 10, breathing in, holding it at the top. And the key is breathing out slowly to a count of 10. So we're going to do 3 of those right now, and we'll see how does it feel. So take a moment. I like to use my hands too. It helps me to slow down. But let's take a deep breath in. Hold it and breathe out. That was a deep breath. And we know how we unless we do it consciously, we don't really do that normally throughout the day. So, and you can even, I can feel the oxygen going to my brain. You can feel a little less tension. It's that mindfulness movement that they talk about now a lot, is being aware. How am I breathing? How do I feel? So let's take another deep breath in. Hold it and slowly. A deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Hold it and a deep breath. Whew, that feels so good every time I do it. And, you know, of course, it's incorporated in this talk because, you know, caregiving can be very stressful. And managing difficult behaviors, repetitive questions someone mentioned, it can be very stressful. So it is that old mantra of take a deep breath, slow down, try not to react, try to be aware of the stress that you're experiencing and try to let it go. Try to relax, understand that this is a disease we're working with, and you know, they're not really, people we're caring for are not able to control everything they're doing. So it's really up to us, and we'll go over this in the presentation of how do we adjust how we react. Okay, so remember the little deep breathing and incorporate that with your daily practice. We went over about you, since we did it, you know, more in person. Let's see what we'll cover. We're going to cover why your family member has these behaviors that are going on. What can you do to address these behaviors, and how can you handle your reaction? And that's where the deep breathing kind of comes back to. Let's try not to aggravate the situation. How can we de-escalate? What is dementia? So we're going to go over kind of what is Alzheimer's disease, what is dementia in the beginning, just to kind of lay the groundwork. That's one of our frequently asked questions is, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's disease? So dementia is kind of a global problem. It's a symptom. It's not a diagnosis. So, you know, say, for example, I gone to the grocery store, I can't seem to be able to count change. I'm getting disoriented. Coming home, I'm getting lost. I don't know where my home is. So something's going on with my thinking. I'm experiencing some form of dementia. This is not normal, no matter if I'm 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. I should know how to find my way home, someplace I've been, all my life. So I go to the doctor and find out what's causing this problems with my thinking and memory. And that's where you find out it could be many things that interfere with our thinking. It could be medications. It could be a lack of sleep. It could be stress. It could be one of the brain diseases like Alzheimer's disease. So we'll go to find out what's going on. Now, understand Alzheimer's disease, it is a disease, it's a health condition. So it's very complex. A lot is going on there. So to help us understand it, we're going to watch a really quick, like 2 or 3 minute video. And this video is also available on YouTube. So I can send you that link, but you can just Google what is Alzheimer's disease on YouTube. And it has this little video, which is very handy and explains it very well. And as you watch this video, also as it talks about how Alzheimer's disease affects the brain, you'll also see how it also affects behavior. So let's watch this real quickly.
What is Alzheimer's disease? Alzheimer's is a slow, fatal disease of the brain affecting 1 in 10 people over the age of 65. No one is immune. The disease comes on gradually as 2 abnormal protein fragments called plaques and tangles accumulate in the brain and kill brain cells. They start here in the hippocampus, the part of the brain where memories are first formed. Over many years' time, the plaques and tangles slowly destroy the hippocampus, and it becomes harder and harder to form new memories. Simple recollections from a few hours or days ago that the rest of us might take for granted are just not there. After that, more plaques and tangles spread into different regions of the brain, killing cells and compromising function wherever they go. This spreading around is what causes the different stages of Alzheimer's. From the hippocampus, the disease spreads here to the region of the brain where language is processed. When that happens, it gets tougher and tougher to find the right word. Next, the disease creeps toward the front of the brain, where logical thought takes place. Very gradually, a person begins to lose the ability to solve problems, grasp concepts, and make plans. Next, the plaques and tangles invade the part of the brain where emotions are regulated. When this happens, the patient gradually loses control over moods and feelings. After that, the disease moves to where the brain makes sense of things it sees, hears, and smells. In this stage, Alzheimer's wreaks havoc on a person's senses and can spark hallucinations. Eventually, the plaques and tangles erase a person's oldest and most precious memories, which are stored here in the back of the brain. Near the end, the disease compromises a person's balance and coordination. And in the very last stage, it destroys the part of the brain that regulates breathing and the heart. The progression from mild forgetting to death is slow and steady, and takes place over an average of 8 to 10 years. It is relentless and, for now, incurable. Helping your family, friends, and neighbors to better understand Alzheimer's will reduce stigma, improve care, and even help the fight for a cure. Thanks for helping to do your part. Learn more at www.aboutalz.org.
Okay. I just want to, after we watch the video, I just like to check in and see people had thoughts. Did it help you understand how Alzheimer's disease works a little bit better? You're free to unmute
Stages.
and share. Sometimes, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I found it interesting, and especially the different stages of the Alzheimer's. So that was interesting and good to know.
Yeah, and then just to clarify, it shows the progression, but of course it may affect people differently at different times or in different ways. This, of course, is the overall general view. I always say it's like pregnancy. You can read a textbook about getting pregnant and having a baby, but everybody's going to have a different experience because we all have different bodies, we have different, backgrounds. Um, so yeah, this kind of gives you an idea, though, of in general how it affects the brain and then different parts of our understanding, our thinking, our memories, and things like that. Sometimes people find it hard to see because it does show that it is a fatal disease. It is a progressive disease and there is not a cure. And so I just want to check in and see how people feel about it. Sometimes it's hard to watch, especially if you have someone in the early stage. It's hard to think about what's coming on down the road. But I think one thing that the goal is to be prepared and understand how things are going to be affected so that we're not caught off guard, both, and just planning for things. And then even emotionally, just knowing that it's going to be a journey and there's going to be these different things that happen. And the more we understand, the more we're prepared, I think hopefully the idea is we can live a little healthier on the journey. Any other comments or questions? Yeah, okay.
So, is dementia also terminal, or is that one of the differences between Alzheimer's and dementia?
Well, dementia can be caused by many different things. So dementia is kind of the overall term. Like I said, some of it is reversible. Say if it's caused by too many medications, and I'm not thinking straight because I just loaded with too many medications, you remove that and you can get better. So some forms of dementia are reversible, but if it's one of these brain diseases like Alzheimer's disease or Lewy bodies or frontotemporal, those are not reversible. Those are all progressive and not curable right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
We have a question.
Yes.
Jonas.
Is there an acceleration over time to get to the later stages?
That's hard to say. Like I said, they're kind of, he said 8 to 10 years is the general span from like early stage diagnosis to later stages. But again, everybody's different. Some people, I've heard of cases 20, 25 years, and some people are very rapid, like within 2 years, so yeah, so it's hard to say, like if it's not the same for everybody. Yeah, so some people progress very rapidly and some people are take many years to progress. So yeah, it's hard. There's not a good answer to that. Yeah, so it's one of those things to just keep an eye out on your person and keep note of what's going on and keep checking in about it. Yeah.
I like the video very much because it gives understanding about the stages and then also how it moved from one part of the brain to another, and then what you're losing, each time it moves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
of the brain. And just reminded me of my mother. She passed away at 93. And that was like in 2019. And I wish I knew, this video beforehand to have more understanding about, the progressing from one part of the brain to another.
Yes. No, I know. We hear that all the time. People say, well, I wish I had known this before. So let's go on and I will, we'll share more about other things that we're going to learn today. So as we saw with the video, a person with Alzheimer's may react or start to behave in many different ways. They may start to see or hear things, as the video showed, repeat questions because that short-term memory is gone, be more confused, disoriented. They may not trust others. They may be feeling very insecure and wary of things because it's harder for them to process information. They may wander and get lost, as I mentioned. That's a very huge safety issue, just from forgetting how to get home. They may get angry and lash out and hit. Be aggressive. Some people get very aggressive, some people don't. They may worry more, be anxious about things. They may obsess about certain things they're anxious about, like say finances is a very common one I hear. People start to get worried, like where's their money? How is it being handled? They may have sleep problems. There's a condition called sundowning where they become more awake at night at dusk. And so really having trouble sleeping through the night. They may refuse to take pills, things that are important for their health. They may refuse and resist to do things. So lots of things can happen. But when we say all behavior has meaning, and that's one thing too, one lesson here, try to understand what is the person trying to say? What is the meaning of the behavior to the person? So for example, if they are anxious or they feel like somebody has stolen their money, find out what's going on. Are they sad or angry or fearful? Find out what the emotion is behind that. Are they uncomfortable or in pain? If they refuse to eat or they refuse to bathe, maybe because there's something uncomfortable going on. Maybe the bathroom is too cold. Are they sick? You know, if they refuse to eat or drink, maybe they might have a urinary tract infection that we're not aware of, and they're not able to tell you. Are they frustrated or bored? If they lash out and get angry, is it from, being confused or not able to understand things? Or maybe they're just left watching TV all day and they feel useless, and so they lash out. So all behavior we say has meaning. And some general rules, kind of the golden rules, is as we're caring for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, behaviors are generally not done to annoy you. They're not done on purpose, and they're not due to poor listening. It's hard when we're taking care of a family member to differentiate between the person that we know and then the person who has Alzheimer's, because they're reacting to things in different ways than they normally would. So sometimes we think, oh, you're just, asking me that question over and over again to annoy me, to bother me, where they're really not in control of that. So we want to understand that these behaviors are due to the brain disease. And that's why that video is really helpful. Now, if there's sudden changes in behavior, this class is for general changes in behavior, but if there's major changes like major changes in confusion or anger or wetting the bed or fever or seizures, those kind of changes, you want to see a doctor immediately. This is just for general kind of changes. Okay, so we're going to go over this 3-step approach. And what it does, it breaks it down to 3 things. One, whenever there's a behavior that you're trying to address, say repetitive questions or not sleeping at night, identify the behavior, be specific, break it down. What time of day is it happening? What environment are they in? What people are around? And then explore, try to understand the meaning behind the behavior. Say, for example, one thing that's very common in repetitive questions is asking, what day is it? What day is it today? My grandfather, who had Alzheimer's, asked that all day. So, they're just wanting to get oriented. Maybe it's something as simple as just wanting to know, but they have that short-term memory loss, so they forgot that they asked you. So understand the cause and educate around that issue. There's a lot of material now about each of these behavior problems and tips and ideas on what to do about it. So educate around it, explore all the different options and try some things. So say with repetitive questions, some things you can try are have a whiteboard with the answer on there so that you don't have to answer it all the time. And then do it and then adjust. Try to figure out some things that you can try and see what works. Everybody's different, so try some things. So step 1, as we mentioned, say for example, sundowning. We'll use sundowning as an example. My father wakes up in the middle of the night around midnight, and then all of a sudden he's awake. He thinks it's morning and he wants breakfast. So identify the behavior. When does he wake up? We go to bed at a normal time, like 9 or 10. He wakes up at midnight, and he's getting up and wants breakfast and wants to start the day. And I have a hard time getting him back to bed. So do others see it the same way? Well, some cases, sundowning is not all night. Maybe he wakes up. If I just calm him down and comfort him, then he goes back to sleep. So maybe others don't see that as that big of a problem. It's just something I'm going to have to do and keep an eye out. Does the behavior bother your family member or you? Are they agitated when they're having, say, for example, pacing? You could also say an example would be, at 4 o'clock, for some reason, my father starts pacing in front of the window. It's really irritating to me. But if he's calm, it doesn't bother him, maybe he has some excess energy, he just needs to burn, and then there's nothing bad that happens afterwards, then maybe it's okay. Maybe I'm the one who has to just kind of let it go and say, he's just going to pace and I just have to not be bothered by it. So sometimes it's the caregiver that needs to adjust. Explore why the behavior is occurring. What is the meaning to the person? So if someone is pacing, like I say, meaning maybe they may just have a lot of energy to burn. Or if they're waking up at night, maybe they're not really as tired physically or mentally. What is she trying to say or do? Sometimes pacing can be agitated, and they're saying, oh, I need to go somewhere, I need to go somewhere. So trying to figure out, is it because they have a lot of energy? Maybe we just need to go outside for a walk, get some sunshine, get some fresh air. Maybe they are bored and they need an activity, looking at a photo album or trying different things. So again, for all these behavior things, whether it's repetitive questions, that may be due to worrying or anxiety or feeling like somebody's taking advantage of them, so all of these things is rooted in some meaning for the person with Alzheimer's, and it's not usually just out of the blue, just to irritate you. So that's what we want to try to, make that shift and saying, okay, how can I explore what it means to them? Why are they doing this behavior that's bothering me or that's bothersome, and explore what we can do about it. So then it's step 3, make an adjustment. See what we can do. If they're wide awake at night and they're up all night, that's definitely a problem, because then me as a caregiver, I'm not getting good sleep. So we'll explore what can we do to address sundowning. A lot of times it's things you can do during the day, like make sure they're exposed to a lot of daylight and that it's dark at night. Make sure there's some kind of routine, and especially a routine for bedtime. We have dinner, we go for a walk, watch a little TV show, read a book, do a puzzle, something, and then, get into a bedtime routine. Make sure there's enough activity during the day so that they're physically tired and mentally tired. So, and what we say is you can influence the behavior. We have some, we've been influencing behavior all our lives with different people, whether they're our kids or our coworkers or, or anywhere we're at, other family members. So think of ideas on how we can influence the behavior. How can we manage it in a better way? And you can adjust the environment. You can adjust things around the person that helps improve the behavior. So all kinds of things we can do. And so putting idea to work, we're going to think about what you see happening, what may be causing the behavior, what the behavior means to the individual, and how would you respond? So we're going to show a pair of videos, and this one is going to address the behavior problem of delusions and hallucinations. So yes, this is another common thing, again, as we saw in the earlier video, because Alzheimer's disease affects all parts of the brain, it also affects the part of the brain that processes information. So we may not see things clearly, or we may think we see things that are not there. So, and we're going to show this video. This is made by UCLA, and they have a whole bank of these. But its first one's called the common response. And so this is a normal response to a behavior problem. And then we're going to follow that with a video about what's a recommended response. So let's go ahead and watch this one.
My mother's been waking up in the middle of the night and seeing things in her room that aren't actually there. We're both exhausted during the day because we're not getting enough sleep at night. Good night, Mom.
Honey, help me.
What's wrong, Mom?
There's an evil man in the room.
Mom, please. There's nobody here. No one's here. Go back to bed. Come on. Look, there's nobody here. All right? Go back to bed. It's got a big day tomorrow. Come on. Good night, Mom.
Okay. So what do you guys think? So Laurel was having problems with her mom sleeping at night. What's going on with her mom? Why isn't she sleeping? You guys can go ahead and unmute and share. Anyone?
She thinks she sees something.
Yeah, right. And what about Laurel's reaction? Why do you think that what do you think about her response?
She's annoyed.
She's annoyed, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's probably not the first time.
Right. Now, do you have a recommendation? Do you think there's a better thing that she could do to get a better response from her mom?
She could communicate with her mom and ask what exactly she's seeing and where.
Yeah. She could explore a little bit more. I mean, we understand she's tired. It's the end of the day. She wants to read her book. She's been busy all day. So we definitely want to acknowledge that. It's, we know it's hard being a caregiver. And that's why we say this is the common response. We really say, oh, mom, just go to bed. You're just doing this to annoy me. You're doing this on purpose. I'm trying to read my book, right? But we want to kind of switch that a little because the thing is, it's not going to be successful if she continues this way, right? So let's see. So you see what's happening, what may be causing the behavior. We can see that she's seeing something in there she's saying there's a strange man in my room. So maybe you want to ask, why does she see something? And then, and so she's feeling anxious, and she's not going to be able to fall asleep if she's feeling worried and anxious. So let's see. Let's put idea to work. So we identify the behavior. Mom runs out of the room, think there's a man in there. And then explore what may be causing the behavior. So that's what we would suggest to Laurel. Try to find out, ask her mom, where is the man? What's going on? Try to sit down where she's at and see her point of view. And you would see that there would be shadows there. And then she's feeling fearful. So always offer reassurance and comfort, not dismissing. I think sometimes with Alzheimer's disease, we think they're just seeing things. It doesn't make any sense. So we kind of dismiss what they're feeling or what they're seeing, rather than trying to comfort them and offer support. And then adjust, see what you can do with the environment, or the changes you can make in the environment. And then again, back to us as caregivers, how can I respond better? How can I listen and comfort her? Maybe I go into the room and there is no shadow. She's just seeing things. She just feels like there's somebody there. So maybe are there things I could do to comfort her and, acknowledge her feelings. So let's see what the next video is the recommended response.
A person with dementia may experience hallucinations when the disease affects the regions of the brain that are responsible for interpreting sights and sounds. Hallucinations commonly involve seeing or hearing things that aren't there. They can transform ordinary, everyday experiences into frightening episodes. A good approach to reducing hallucinations is to identify and eliminate the objects or things that trigger them.
Honey, help me.
What's wrong, Mom?
There's an evil man in the room.
Oh, really? Let me take care of it. It's okay. Oh, I see. Okay, come on. Come on, I'll take care of it. Now you stay out here. Now he's gone, okay? I'll sit with you until you go to sleep, okay?
Okay.
Mom, I think we should keep your coat rack outside so you have a place to keep your jackets when you come in.
Oh, okay, dear.
Okay? Okay. Good night.
Remember, patients experiencing hallucinations are having a difficult time interpreting their surroundings. Remain calm, reassuring, and try to identify what may be triggering the hallucinations. If hallucinations persist after trying to eliminate them, be sure to discuss this with their doctor. Here are a few tips on how to reduce hallucinations. Look around and try to see things through her eyes. What might cause her to misinterpret what she sees? Identify potential triggers such as open curtains, shadows, mirrors, or televisions left on. In the bedroom, use a nightlight to create a more peaceful sleeping environment. Always remember to remain calm and reassuring. Do not yell or scold her. Help her back into bed and reassure her that she is safe.
All right. How do you guys feel? What do you think of that recommended response? Any thoughts on that?
Much better, much more
Yeah.
compassionate.
Yes. And then like I say, we want to acknowledge that, we all get frustrated, and, that I think the video actually makes it look pretty easy, but we know from many of our caregiver classes, problems with sleeping is a hard thing. It's not that easy to put them back to bed and to figure it out. So, but yes, in general, it is more successful to try to be calm and reassuring and try to understand, that it's the disease that's causing these hallucinations or delusions. Does anybody else have somebody who experiences hallucinations in any way? Seeing things?
While people are thinking, I was just going to comment that as the caregiver, I think you feel a little bit more empowered too, don't you? Because you feel like you're not all crabby at the end of getting back to your book. You sort of feel touched that you were able to be a support. So I think there's a win-win there going on. I was just kind of noticing that. Yeah. Anybody else have this issue where you experience delusions? The person has hallucinations or delusions?
We have a situation where she sees something like her mother, but we can't figure out why or how it's being triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's tricky, isn't it? When you don't really know what's triggering.
And I think the thing, like the general message is just to not scold them or not try to correct them, just really going along. It's not harmful to go along with them. I think sometimes we feel like we don't want to lie to them, or we don't want them to, you want to tell them, no, she's not alive anymore, and we kind of are moving away from that. It's more about meeting them where they're at, whatever keeps them comforted and calm, figuring out how to respond. Someone else told me, I think in one of our classes, they said, well, I just tell her, oh, mom's not here today, she's coming tomorrow. So other ways to try to respond that aren't upsetting, and that even though it may not be, it's hard because we don't want to say lying, but it's really just comforting. Whatever message comforts them the most. Yeah, so it's hard. It's like, especially if you don't know where it's coming from. But again, it's more about their emotions. Like somehow they're drawn to that emotionally. Okay, let's go to the next topic then. The next, we're going to go over two topics today. One is hallucinations and delusions. This one is refusing to take medication. And again, we're going to go over Stacy has a problem with her grandmother refusing to take medication. So this is kind of the common complaint we get, say, and she said, what do I do? And then we'll provide you with fact sheets on other topics. There's, of course, many, many other behavior issues that we could talk about, but for this 1 hour talk, we'll just go over these two and just using the idea method to give you kind of an idea of how to respond to a difficult behavior. So let's hear what's going on with Stacy.
Grandma hates taking her medicine, even after I tell her what it's for. She asks 10 different times why she's taking it. What should I do? Time to take your medicine, Grandma.
I don't need to take medicine. Who said I have to take that medicine? For what?
What are you talking about, Grandma? You have high blood pressure and diabetes. Dr. Brown said if you don't take your medicine, you're going to get sick.
I don't need pills.
Why do we have to do this every day? Just take your pills. I give up.
Okay. So, so why do you think Stacy is having problems with her grandma taking medicine? What might Stacy be doing wrong? Why is grandma refusing the medication? Any suggestions for Stacy? Any ideas to help with someone taking medication? You can go ahead and unmute. So you can see.
So hard to reason, isn't it? I think it's so hard to reason when someone doesn't remember their health conditions. And
Right. She doesn't remember why she's taking medications. And you can see similar to the previous one with Laurel, Stacy's kind of going in there without much compassion, not very gentle, kind of impatient already, standing over her, not really trying to be gentle about it. So I think that's one of the messages. Let's see, idea. So identify the behavior. Grandma refuses to take her pills. Stacy's like, why won't she take her pills? So let's explore. Say we're talking with Stacy. What may be causing the behavior? Why do you think grandma is resistant? She's forgotten why she needs to take her pills. She just, you can't reason again. It's very hard to remember health conditions, why you would take a pill. And other reasons, what other reasons might be for grandma? She might not like to swallow the pills. She definitely doesn't like Stacy standing over her, and coming at her like that. She's like, I'm not going to do anything you tell me to do. Just, she's getting more irritated, right? So what can we do to adjust? We suggest to Stacy, try approaching calmly, being a little bit more patient. Bring the doctor's note that reminds her why she needs to take the medication. Say it's for your health, for your diabetes, your high blood pressure. We want you to stay well. And suggest maybe a fun activities. Connect it, if you take pills once, twice, 3 times a day, maybe connect it with another part of the schedule of doing something fun, going for some ice cream or going for a walk or reading something together. So yeah, trying to address what may be, why might she be refusing the medication, Okay, let's see the recommended response video.
Refusal to take medication is a common manifestation of dementia. It can be very frustrating for the family, particularly as this has to be done every day. Stay calm and be patient, keeping in mind that these medications help your loved one stay healthy.
Time to take your medicine, Grandma.
I don't need to take medicine. Who said I have to take medicine? For what?
Remember, Dr. Brown said you have to take medicine for your blood pressure and your diabetes. He even wrote a note. My patient, Aura Jackson, that's you, needs to take her blood pressure and diabetes medicine every day. So let's take your medicine for Dr. Brown.
Okay, I'll take it today, but maybe not tomorrow. Only because Dr. Brown said it's a good idea.
Okay. Oh, I have an idea. Let's take the dogs outside for a walk. It's a beautiful day.
Do not allow your annoyance or frustration to become part of the problem. Your loved one may pick up on your emotions and become annoyed with herself or you. Here are a few tips on how to improve the situation. Pick a doctor or an individual that she wants to please and tell her that this person advises her to take these medications. If swallowing pills is the issue, check with your pharmacy to see if the medications are available in liquid form. If not, consider crushing pills into applesauce or pudding to make them more palatable. Give pills one at a time with water. Sit next to your loved one when you try to offer them medications instead of over her. If she continues to refuse, allow her to calm down for several minutes, then try again. Remember to be patient, as this process may take several attempts. In regards to specific medications, prioritize the most important medications to be taken first.
All right. How was that? What do you guys think of that as a recommendation? Better? What did you think? Anything stand out for you in that?
Much better. She was a lot more compassionate.
Yeah. So that's the first recommendation for Stacy. Just take it easy, be patient. Even one mother and daughter that came to one of my classes, the daughter said she would take care of the medications for her father because he would take it and then spit it out and put it in the plant. So she realized that she has to sit there, watch him, make sure, and it would take up to 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes to make sure he actually took the pill. So it's really about understanding it's going to take longer than you like, but you're going to get the better result by taking that time and letting them. And I liked also when Stacy was trying to push on the grandmother and the grandmother's pushing back. They said, okay, if they're really resistant, maybe back off, wait 15 minutes and try again later. Maybe they'll feel a little bit more open to it. You definitely don't want it. The more you push, the more they're going to resist, right? Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Anybody have problems?
I think Stacy could say something like, "Hi, Grandma, I love you," and say something like it's somewhere around there. And then when she sits down, say, "Hi, Grandma, I love you." And then if she refuses, just say that, "Grandma, I want you to be here for a long time, until I graduate or something," to make, motivate her.
Yeah,
For that.
definitely. They say, we don't want to just push them to do stuff. We want to do it from a place because I love you and I want you to be healthy, from that loving part. That's a really great recommendation.
I was just going to say, I love the association with something positive, like taking the dogs out, like rather than it ending as like a tense thing. I could imagine every time like those pills show up, then, the person's kind of thinking of an emotion that goes with that, or feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, swallowing the pills may not be comfortable. So as they say, you could try to get liquid or crush it. You want to make sure they eat all the applesauce to make sure they get the full effect of the medication. But so this is very common. They're going to refuse to do things because they don't see the purpose of it or the reason. Why would I take a pill when I don't want to? So it's really trying to figure out, and that's where we say explore all the different ways you can try to work around resistance. And resistance is very common. Resistance to taking a bath, resistance to eating, resistance to sleeping, resistance to taking medications. So it's something that we'll have to be more creative in figuring out how can we work with them to do the things that are healthy for them.
I have a question.
Yes.
She said it at the end. Let's walk the dog. Okay. If she is kind of resistant, the grandma, is it better to say like, well, Grandma, we can walk the dog after this? Or is it better to do it at the end? So it's an incentive, but it could be like she's going to be asking for that incentive all the time before she takes that medicine.
Right. And it's one of those things you try different things and whichever works best. If that works, that might work, but maybe if it's distracting, then we'll wait till the end. So there's no one answer. I think everybody's different, like I say. So it's really trial and error, trying different things and seeing what works. And then again, as a person goes through different stages, things will change too, from early stage to middle stage. So you'll have to try different things at the different stages. Yeah, so it's always trying around. So yeah, so this is kind of the three, break it down to 3 easy steps to try to, really think about a behavior. Like I said, whether it's not sleeping at night or refusing to bathe, identify the behavior, explore what may be causing the behavior, understand the meaning to the person, why they may be behaving that way, and then try some adjustments. We have a whole menu of things. You can either go to our website and I'll share you our fact sheets. But you can also call, and our social workers at our office, we have a whole team of social workers can do one-on-one consultation, and anything that you have that may be a question or any problem that you're having, you can just ask them and say, well, here, this is various things that people try. Another great place to try is support groups. They're also really great. You go there, you bring a question, and everybody has kind of different ways, things that they've tried that are very creative and innovative that may have worked with their person. So there's many ways to kind of explore any problem that's going on. And then remember to take a deep breath. I think it's very understandable that we're impatient, we're stressed out, we're aggravated, and we just want to take a break and read a book. So it's understandable. Being patient every day, multiple times a day is not easy. So remember to take care of yourself, take that breath before we react in that common response. Try to relax a little, take a little breath before we get into that mode. And these are our collaborators for this. As we mentioned, Alzheimer's LA, the association in Northern California, Dr. Dolores Gallagher Thompson from Stanford, and then the video clips are courtesy of UCLA Dementia Care Program. And that's our helpline. And again, I will email you this information and our social media. You can go there for more information, as well as our website. All right, I'm going to come back to the group. I think that brings us to the hour. Did anybody else have any questions or comments as we wrap up here? Any behaviors? Yeah.
I was looking at our next one. Is it called Lost Memories?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Lost Memories is a short film about 40 minutes, broken up into 4 segments, where we talk about these different signs and symptoms. We use it as a tool rather than a PowerPoint to start a discussion about what's going on. So that'll be next month in February.
Wonderful. So good to see everybody today. Any final questions? You're right on time there. I love it. Yeah. Okay, great to see everybody, and hope you'll look at the series. Just pick out the things that you want to, you feel like will be meaningful to you. And in the meantime, for more one-to-one, you can call Alzheimer's LA. You can call me. We can kind of go over your personal situation as needed. Any comments? Yeah. Rie or?
Great.
Oh, I thought maybe you're going to say something.
Well, thank you, everyone. I will send you the slides in an email along with the post survey, and hopefully we'll see you next month as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol, be well.